Something that I've learned that I'll never forget. Be genuine to yourself. Trust the process, and ultimately your time will come.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, cowboys and cowgirls, to another episode in the TX Whiskey Behind the Curtain studio. My name is Chelsea Sutton, and I am so excited to be joined here today with Adrienne Vanlandingham. Your husband has been a competitor every year here at the Run for a Million, and he is back here again this year. You and your family have been truly icons and legends in the industry for many, many years. I can't tell you how many times I have announced your last name between your husband and your daughter. I've seen you in the ring a few times yourself.
3.
Yes, three times.
3, that's it.
We have so many great things to talk about, and I wish I had all day with you. But thank you for sitting down with me for a few minutes.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to start at the beginning.
Okay.
Tell me about your introduction to the equine industry.
My introduction would be Jason, to be real honest. I did not grow up with horses. I was actually quite terrified of them. Jason and I have been together since we were 14. We met in the 3rd grade. He was an athlete. That's what I knew him as. He was a football player. He was a baseball player, a basketball player, extremely intelligent, just a great guy. I did not know the cowboy side of him. But his parents always had horses, and he always trained a few for people here and there. But it was not horses like this at all. It was ranch horses, go out and do, whatever needed to be done. And he took me on a few trail rides when we were dating, scared to death. So this whole evolution of us coming into the reining industry has been something I did not expect. So it's new for me.
Let's unpack that.
Okay,
because
let's do.
You meet young, and I met my husband in high school, not quite as young, but we've changed a lot over the years. And so talk me through the evolution of when did the horse world show up as like, okay, this might be a professional thing, because Jason had a
baseball
career.
Yes,
That's what I thought.
absolutely. So his dreams and goals were to be a professional baseball player, and he was good enough to do it. So, we started dating very young. We started a family very young. We got married right out of high school. He went to college, played baseball, but soon realized that it was too hard to be away from our daughter and I. And so he put that goal aside. Our sophomore year in college, we both quit school. We quit school and moved to Illinois for him to go work with a reining trainer. And we had never seen reining before. It was actually on ESPN, and a friend of his had ESPN. We did not. He said, hey, can you record this for me? I want to see what this is all about. And so he did, and he fell in love with it. But he was not showing horses. He was buying and selling them. So he thought, if I go work for this trainer, I can learn how to teach one to spin a little faster, so the next time I take him to a sale, maybe he'll bring a couple $100 more. That was our plan. So we quit school, we packed everything, we moved 12 hours away from home. And we worked there, he works there for a year and a half, and fell in love with it. And the rest is history. We've just been going at it nonstop ever since. And thankfully,
here you are.
Here we are.
In the lights and behind the cameras.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the family side of things, because you have four beautiful
4 children. Yes.
Tell me about them.
So they're great. Our oldest is 28, Alexis. She's an amazing young lady. She has a wonderful family. Our son, Dalton, it's hard to think of ages, but is 26, and then Courtney's 23, and Emma's 16. So they have all been a part of our business all the way through. When we were first starting out, it was, we're still very small in comparison to most people, but they were a huge part of our business. They helped clean stalls, they helped feed, they helped saddle. They were the working parts of our business. Emma is kind of reaping the benefits of where we are now, because she's the youngest and she's getting to go into the show pen. So most people know about her, but the others have been as big a part of our business as anything. And they're our biggest supporters. They all have their own likes and dislikes and go their own ways, but they're supporting us every step of the way.
If you don't mind, I'm a newer mom myself. I have a 20-month-old at home.
That's awesome.
So it is awesome.
It is.
And so part of this is, I want to know, right? Give me the insider secret.
Okay.
But I know that there are a lot of people out there that do. You play so many roles when it comes to life in the reining industry. And then you add to that the fact that you guys are professionals. He is competing at the professional level. You are training professionally, right? There's a lot of layers to that. So for those who might not be familiar with the professional side of the industry, wife, mom, obviously we've talked about those, business manager, business partner,
Right.
coach, analyzer, right? Like on the ground looking at things different than how it might feel in the saddle. Those are all very unique components. I first want to ask you from the family dynamic side of things, you know, and for those who have ever had, even if you're not competing at this type of a level, the horse lifestyle and any sort of agricultural or livestock is a lifestyle,
Absolutely.
right? You've got to get up in the morning and take care of them at night. So can you talk a little bit about how you deal with the blurred lines between when you're mom, when you're business manager, when you're coach, when you're...
Right. I don't know that you can separate it, to be real honest. It's, like you said, it's a lifestyle. It's not something that you can walk away at 5 o'clock and be done with it. You know, it's every hour of every day. And that's something that I think our kids learned how to work hard, how to put something ahead of yourself. You know, the animals depend upon us completely. And so to put something else's needs ahead of yourself is a great thing to be able to teach your children. How to persevere through hard times. You know, I mean, that's a great learning aspect of this business. But to be able to separate it, I don't think that you can. It depends on the moment. It depends on what you're doing at that exact moment as to what hat you're wearing. You know, whether you're the mom or you're the analyzer or the cheerleader or the encourager or, you know, having to take care of the business side of things. It's literally what is happening that second at that moment and what you need to do to get it done. And you do it. You know, I mean, there are no questions there. You just take care of it.
Do you have any examples of maybe challenging moments where determining which one becomes the priority has been hard and over time you've learned to sort it out?
You know, I do think that, so going back to our oldest kids, there are things that you put emphasis on in life. And for our older kids, it was athletics. You know, I mean, we were at a time in our lives where athletics were still a huge, important part of Jason's life. You know, I mean, very just ingrained in him. That's what he did. And so our older kids, that's what their focus ended up being, you know, through their school years. And we put a lot of emphasis on that. And then now, like with Emma, you know, she craves being in the show pen. And we put a lot of emphasis on that. And something that Jason and I have really been mulling over in our minds and together and working through is, you know, we've been putting emphasis on the wrong thing. And we need to be putting emphasis on what is important in this life. And, you know, it's more than just what happens in the show pen. It's more than just what happens on the ball field. You know, it's how you treat others. It's how you treat your family. It's how you love, you know, the stranger on the street. There's more important things in this life, and that's something that we need to be more focused on moving forward with our grown children and our grandchildren. You know, that's more important than what's going on in our business or extracurriculars or whatever you want to call it. So.
That's great context and easier said than done,
well,
I'm sure.
Absolutely. It's very challenging, but together it's something we have to work on and grow to be better at. So,
if you don't mind, I want to ask about the marriage side of things, because there's the parent component, but there's also the, you know, we are husband and wife and we need to stay aligned and harmonious. Absolutely. But there's inevitably, and I've, you know, just from a distance been able to watch you guys, and you have a really compelling dynamic in the way that the two of you he obviously leans on you, right? And looks to you to whatever that is, be a set of eyes, be an analyzer, right? There might be a better word. This sport is so precise. It's all about control, right? And I do think that regardless of what relationship we're talking about, does create a challenging dynamic.
Absolutely. There can be a lot of tension, you know, there can be a lot of emotion involved. And, you know, when he first walks out of a show pen and something maybe didn't go right, it's not the time, and I'm guilty of it. I mean, I've said maybe this should have happened, but it's not the time to, you know, pick on things. But later, you know, we'll sit down together and we'll analyze, like you said, you know, something that's happened or what can be done better or what was good. And just being there for him more of as a sounding board, you know, and just to continue to encourage him is what I feel like my biggest role in his career, you know, is just to be there for him. He knows what he's doing. You know, he does not need me to tell him that, yeah, that's bad or that's good. He knows. But just to be there and encourage him along the way, I think, is my biggest role. So.
And you guys just celebrated 29 years married, right?
Yes,
this week.
Yes, just a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long did you, time flies when you're having fun. How long did it take for you to, and I'm sure you're still tweaking, right? Because we grow and evolve, but how long before you felt like you guys found a rhythm? You realized when the right time was versus.
No, I mean, I think we're still evolving into what's best for each other. And if you don't continue to grow, and then that becomes a problem. But, it takes time. Obviously, when you're first married, you're young and you're dumb and you don't know what's right and what's wrong, and you learn. But trying to put each other's, from both sides, but put the other one first is the best thing that we can do. And I think that's, like I said, just an ongoing process of trying to be better. So.
I'm dying to know, because especially hearing a little bit more about your background and both of you not coming from the performance horse space,
right.
but also being together young, you have journeyed through this industry as it has gone from few $100s of added money to now $1 million for 16 competitors.
Right.
Talk me through living that, what that has looked like, and first from the relational and the business side of things, I'd love to hear from you on how seeing new developments like the Run for $1 Million hit the market has changed the way that you guys might think or make decisions about the business and your family's role in it.
We still, yes, the change in our lifetime in this business has been incredible. And what Taylor is doing for our industry is amazing. And we could not be more thankful for what they're doing for all of us, in our lives. And we still do the same thing though. We still get up and we still do the very best job with the horses that are sent to us, whether we're running at $100 or $500,000. It's the same thing. It's the way we run our business, and we still take care of the horses the same way. We still, work as hard. So the money is amazing, and it's amazing for our owners, and it's amazing for the careers of the horses, because, not too long ago, a few years ago, if Jason won $100,000 on a horse, we thought that was amazing. A great accomplishment. That horse had done it. And we were super proud of them. Now we feel like if they've not won 100,000, we've failed. And that's crazy. That is crazy. And that's just a few years ago that it was that way. But now, there are so many opportunities and so many people that are building this industry and putting so much into it for us to be able to go out and do what we're doing. We never thought possible. Never in our wildest dreams did we think this would be possible. So we are extremely grateful to all the people that are doing this and making this industry what it is. So
I can't resound that more, and I fully agree with you. I do also wonder, because your program is exclusively focused on what in our industry we call aged event horses,
correct.
Right? The 3 to, do you guys go to 7s now that we've added that to derbies?
So we have Best Shine is 8. And Gonna Be Big Time is 8. Those are our 2 old guys. So there you go.
Old guys,
old
right?
Guys, exactly.
Old guys. That is again a change in the industry. We often put a lot of emphasis around the dollars that are added to classes like this, and that matters in the amount of lives that it touches. However, there are other unique components for those who might not be familiar with reining. Traditionally, our 3-year-old futurity was the pinnacle,
exactly.
Right? And then okay, great. And if you could get something done in your derby age years, those 4, 5, 6, and now 7-year-old years, and for you guys, because you don't have non-pros,
right?
Correct.
Yes, other than her. No.
Outside, non-pros.
Exactly.
Which is also a unique dynamic. And if we had hours, I would love to talk about the business and the decisions behind that, right. Because that is a laser-focused niche, and I think there's a lot of power in that, and probably why you guys are seeing some success in the show pen. But when you take events like this that are new for our industry in the way that they don't have an age cap
right.
on the horse, right? There's no limitation. Has that changed you guys' approach in keeping horses, training horses, finding horses, recommending horses, knowing that this type of an opportunity is there?
I don't know that it's changed anything. So we take what's sent to us. We typically don't go out and buy horses. I could probably count on one hand the number of horses we've gone out and bought. Whatever is sent to Jason, however it's bred, whoever it's from, he trains. And that's what he's been successful on in the show pen. So to say that we've changed it because of this, maybe not, other than best shine and going to be big time, still have a shot to go show, whereas before they would have been done in our barn. They'd been solely in the breeding barn, rather than being able to come out and compete still. So that maybe changes a little, but as far as going out and finding a horse or, that aspect, maybe not so much, but it does give life to some of those older horses that we would have been done with, because there weren't any events other than this one. So maybe it changed a little, but not a whole lot.
Changed in the outcome, not in the process.
There you go.
Yeah. Well said.
Good way to say it.
What do you think is here for the next few years of the industry? And I'm not asking so much for us to look into a crystal ball, because if we can do that,
yeah, crazy,
we probably wouldn't be competing anymore, right? We would be doing something else. But especially thinking through the lens of, again, mother, wife, business partner, competitive family. Next 5 to 10 years. How old's Emma?
She's 16.
16.
Yes.
So when you think about, those next 10 years for her.
Right. So there have been many times that Jason and I, going back to Vintage Smoke, when he won the Derby that completed the Triple Crown for him, that was Jason's second time to complete the Triple Crown, something nobody else has ever done. As we're walking up to go get their picture taken, he looks at me and he's like, "Are you ready to be done?" I said, "Sure." We were ready at that point, having no idea that this was on the horizon. And afterwards, we get home and we unpack, and then we're kind of twiddling our thumbs, and we're like, you know what? We can't slow down. We're used to going too much. We're used to doing stuff all day, every day. We can't slow down yet. Thankful we didn't at that point. So, you never know what's in store. And the next few years, I have no idea where it's going to lead us. I know Emma has desires and goals to be the best that there is. And she's mulling around in her mind, do I want to be an open trainer? Do I want to be a non-pro? Questions that, Dad and I are trying to guide her and steer her, but it's ultimately her decision. If we slow down, training-wise, we won't slow down because of her. She's going to continue doing this for many more years, so we'll still be in it. Who knows what aspect will be, but we'll still be in it and still be going strong, just maybe a different avenue.
I want to wrap up with this question because I know you guys have a lot of preparation to do. There are multiple horses here, and we are early in the week in the 2025 Run for $1 Million. But if you were talking to someone, maybe Emma, maybe someone her age that is particularly looking to, maybe they're dating or engaged to someone that is on the professional path in the industry, what advice would you give to them, or maybe your younger self, about how to handle what the industry has to offer?
So this is a hard industry to be in. I mean, it is hard work day in and day out, from sunrise to sunset and after. It's not for the weak. It's not for the weak physically or weak-minded, I mean, you have to be strong in every aspect of your life to get through this. And I wouldn't change it for anything. I mean, it's been the best adventure that Jason and I have gone on together. I mean, it's been incredible. So no, I would not discourage it, but I would tell you that it is hard, and expect nothing less.
Well, thank you, Adrienne. Like I said, I know there's a lot of things going on, and taking a few minutes to sit with me has been so valuable. So thank you, guys. You heard it right here in the TX Whiskey Behind the Curtain studio. We will see you for the next episode.